Hello and a warm welcome to Federal Special Program Capital Beat. The tussle for Karnataka's chief ministerial post has intensified with camps supporting Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and his deputy DK Shivakumar stepping up pressure. Both leaders insist the final decision rests with the Congress High Command, even as political signaling intensifies on the ground. Now, amidst this political drama, both leaders, in fact, were seen together on stage in an event on Friday. And a day earlier, Siddaramaiah asserted that he would complete his full 5 year term, whereas Shiv Kumar publicly dismissed all speculations of a leadership change, saying he's not in a hurry and has had no discussions with senior Congress leaders on the CM post. Now, what we are hearing, the latest development is that apparently entire power tussle has now shifted to Delhi. DK Shivakumar has agreed to meet the High Command along with Siddaramaiah. That's what we are hearing. But you never know. I mean, at the last moment, what changes are there. So we'll try and discuss what is happening in Karnataka, really. Joining me this evening is senior journalist Vijay Grover with us. Thank you so much, Vijay, for joining. We have senior journalist Ananta Chinivar. Thank you so much, Ananta, for joining. And we have Professor D.S. Purnananda also joining us. Thank you so much, Professor Purnananda. And I'll begin
Thank
with
you.
Vijay. Vijay, what is this power tussle all about? It has been happening for quite some time, but now since the government has crossed the halfway mark and they've completed the half term of 2.5 years on 20th November. Is this the reason they have intensified? Because what we do know allegedly or maybe reportedly that some kind of a secret deal happened where the CM or there was supposed to be a change of guard.
Good evening, Needu. Nice to be back on the Federal and with you on this show. Now, the one thing that I actually want to remind the viewers over here, we've been hearing about this, supposed deal where 2.5 years later the power shift would happen and DK Shiv Kumar would be given the power. Now, the first thing that comes to mind is as to why DK Shiv Kumar was not made the chief minister in 2023 when the Congress won the elections. The fact was very clear that there were cases against DK Shivakumar at that time by the ED and the CBI, and investigations are on. And even now, he is on bail in several of these cases. Now, between May of 23 and now in November 2025, what has changed? Nothing has changed as far as DK Shivakumar is concerned because he still continues to face the battle legally and is on bail and on borrowed time. Now, this is something which is not only true for him but his family members as well, because they also have this sword of the ED and the CBI inquiry still looming long. Now, why was there suddenly a rush to say that there was a tacit understanding and that the power would be given? Now, this is something where the hope was there that by these 2 years, DK Shivakumar and his family members would be able to get the cases clear, and then he would be given the opportunity, no doubt, because he is a loyalist of the Congress. He's worked hard for the party. He has developed the party in the state. Nobody questions that, and including his own partymen and the people who've seen him work. Now, this is a challenge that DK Shivkumar is not being offered the post of the chief minister because the Congress will not want an embarrassment in case it hands over power to DK Shivakumar that the sitting chief minister again faces arrest. So clearly, this is the reason why we see that while there is a push from DK Shivakumar saying that he should be made the chief minister, in fact he has not said anything. His loyalists have been actually making that kind of claim. But to the credit of Siddaramaiah, in the 2.5 years of his governance, we've seen the way he's delivered the five guarantees and also ensured that the last man in the line got the benefit of these schemes and has ensured that despite fiscal challenges, he is not let the state down or the people down, and that is the credit to him. Also, apart from the fact that he's an OBC, and to replace an OBC leader with a forward caste leader at this juncture would send the Gandhi's messaging of uh, everybody being taken along. The kind of slogan that Rahul Gandhi has been given, "Jitni jati, utna adhikar," the hak kind of thing that is slogan in Hindi. Clearly, that messaging would go for a toss. And his politics from 2024 has been on the OBCs, Dalits, backwards minorities. And to replace an OBC chief minister at this juncture certainly will make the Congress answerable not just in Karnataka but also across the country. And that's where we stand at a situation where the Congress High Command does not know whether to rally behind Siddaramaiah or to give an opportunity to DK Shivakumar, though he is meritorious for the work that he's done for the party. He's been their man Friday in several states. So clearly, this is where we stand today, and that's what
Right. So,
I want to
Vijay,
start off
from what you were saying, if it is a known fact that, because DK Shivkumar is facing several cases, he might face an arrest. If the High Command knows that, if DK Shivkumar knows that, and this entire power tussle, is it like manufactured by the loyalists? And how does it, backfire for DK Shivkumar also? Because it looks odd that, every now and then the loyalists rake up this issue, but they know the reality that he won't be able to become a CM. So, what is the situation all about? So, which means that there is no change of guard as of now in Karnataka.
There's an old saying, Nilu, which says the soldier is more loyal than the king. And this is where we see that the supporters of DK Shivakumar today are in a situation where they want their leader to become the chief minister, and they are the ones who are batting for it. Now, coming to this kind of situation, where we see a scenario that we are looking at today, a crisis where the questions have been raised about DK Shivakumar continuing as KPCC president. Now, this could be a bargain which will ensure that DK Shivakumar continues to be the KPCC president, and that could be something that could uh, be the only bargain that he can derive out of that. Because DK Shivakumar knows that by 2028, when the state goes to election and the BJP being a divided house at this juncture, he certainly would be in the race, and that's the kind of assurance maybe he wants to elicit from the high command. So clearly, this is where we see that this entire power tussle uh, leading to where certainly Siddaramaiah will not want to give up on the good work that he's done. Especially, he's just 1.5 months away from being the longest serving chief minister of the state, and that is
Right.
something where we need to look at that. So clearly, there would be some patch up or patchwork that would happen to ensure that the fire that is now burning is quelled by the high command and the others.
All right. Okay. So I'll come to Ananta Chenivar now. Ananta, also what we are told is that the loyalists on both sides are preparing sort of a chart sheet, as to what all things are against Siddaramaiah and what all other things which go. And Siddaramaiya supporters similarly are preparing a chart sheet against DK. So like, say, for example, he went to the Kumbh Mela, he was seen on BJP events. So all those things are happening. So what would you really make of this power tussle? Is it going to is it just a bargaining chip for, or as what Vijay said, some kind of an assurance DKS needs that when 2028 elections happens, then he needs to be projected as a chief ministerial face?
Yeah, it's not an easy task for any leader at the top to be negotiating such a situation. I'm not as certain as Vijay Grover when it comes to power transition. I'm not really certain that DK Shivakumar will not become the CM. That is hard bargaining. The window of bargaining has narrowed down, all right. But this transition, if at all it has to happen, it has to happen with Siddaramaiah's acceptance. That is the bottom line. Who will, convince Siddaramaiah to kind of step aside? No leader worth his salt would do that. No leader worth his salt would go out without a pound of flesh that he would like to have. So if DK Shivakumar's team has gotten into this, obviously there is something, that is cooking in the kitchen. What is cooking there? See, it all started 2.5 years ago. Post elections, post last elections, it was widely believed that it was indeed DK Shivakumar's leadership that actually revitalized the party. The party had kind of lost its steam post 2018 elections and the coalition government with Kumar Swamy, which was a disaster. And thereafter, the party was not in its elements, but DK Shivakumar brought it to life. This was the widely perceived, opinion. So after the elections, naturally the choice, going by tradition, it should have been the PCC president, for the CM's post. But Siddaramaiah, being the mass leader that he is, being the face of the party that he is, there was no way they could put Siddaramaiah aside. So Siddaramaiah had to be the natural choice. But DK Shivakumar, we all know he has been a party loyalist, yes, but he is also a really tough, bargainer. So what happened 2.5 years ago is a matter of speculation for a lot of people. DK Shivakumar hasn't openly spoken about it, but he has not denied it as well, right? He said it's among a few leaders within the four walls of a room, but looking at the developments, it seems to be a case of a promise that has being given to DK Shivakumar, which he wants to be honored now. So there is a Twitter war, there is a social media war going on between the two leaders,
I
about
want to
keeping a
understand.
word.
Ananta, I also want to understand this bit about the secret deal which DK Shivkumar mentioned, that it's only like 4 or 5 leaders who know about it. What is the reality behind it? Is it so mysterious? Nobody knew. Was there a pact? Was there some kind of an agreement, or rather an unspoken agreement about this?
See, it's like the 2020 deal that was supposed to have happened between Kumar Swamy and Yediyurappa in 2006, right? So there had to be a power transition after 20 months. Kumar Swamy did not keep his word. That's what we were given to understand. Was there an agreement? Nobody knows. So there cannot be an official agreement of sorts in such cases. But it appears, going by what is happening now, and going by the prediction that a few leaders had made about the November revolution, as about 3 months ago, it appears that there was a pact, there was an understanding. What was that understanding? Nobody knows. But if there was an agreement, if Siddaramaiah had been told that he would be the chief minister for only 2.5 years, the question now that comes up is, why did High Command allow it to precipitate this long? Any transition has to happen over a period of time. It cannot just be snapped in a moment, right? So now the situation is such that taking any side would be disastrous for the party. And the rotation of chief minister is not new to Karnataka. In the last, I think, 25 years, Karnataka has seen about 11 CMs, 11 chief ministers, out of which, if you take out 12 years of Siddaramaiah and SM Krishna, it is about 9 CMs in 13 years. It's virtually a musical chair. And whenever that has happened, the party in power has lost out big time, right? So there is a lesson for people to learn. And High Command, Congress High Command being in a state as it is now, we all see it as not as assertive as probably the BJP leadership at the top. In such a situation, would Rahul Gandhi be able to navigate this situation? He has to manage the egos at one level. He has to manage the aspirations of the leaders at another level. He has to keep the stability of the government. He has to keep the voters' base intact. It is very difficult. What would you do? There are only three choices now. Either to continue with Siddaramaiah, that is status quo. What will DK Shivakumar gain in that case? Probably, a cabinet reshuffle is on the cards. So would there be some compensation for DK Shivakumar? We do not know. This is hard bargaining that's going on, is what I believe either chief ministership or something else that would matter to me. Or if there is a power transition to DK Shivakumar, what will happen to Siddaramaiah? It's not going to be easy at all. This transition cannot happen smoothly without Siddaramaiah's complete acceptance of it, which is very doubtful, extremely
Yes.
doubtful. So power transition, as Vijay said, it's unlikely at this point in time, but you cannot rule out anything given the record that Congress has had over the years. What
Right.
is the third option? DK Shivakumar, from DK Shivakumar circles, what we are given to understand is that he wants clarity. Basically, if he had been promised something 2.5 years ago, that has to be met. If not, at least give me a timeline. 2028, as you rightly pointed out, 2028, will it be DK Shivakumar alone? That is the kind of word that he would like to have
Yeah.
from the High Command, not just within the four walls, publicly. There has to be a public announcement of DK Shivakumar taking over for 2028. Will that happen? Very difficult to say at this point in time. It's a really difficult situation for the Congress High Command to handle. But
Right.
we cannot see it as a DK Shivakumar Siddaramaiah tussle alone. There are other people in the fray also. They would matter
Right.
when the time comes.
Right. Now, there is a third angle to it, Professor D.S. Purnananda. The name of Parmeshwara is also coming up, and it makes it like a three-way tussle. It's Siddaramaiah versus D.K. Shivakumar versus Parmeshwara as well. Now, why is Parmeshwara also staking his claim at this point of time, knowing very well that, it could destabilize the government completely if there is a power transition which happens at this point of time?
I personally don't think, Dr. Parameshwar is a serious contender now. He has repeatedly said that he would accept any decision taken by the High Command.
Thrown his
So,
hat in the ring, but he has
uh,
thrown his hat in. I'm saying he has thrown
that's
his hat in the ring.
yeah, that's true. Of course, everyone is saying that the decision of the High Command is final. Certainly, Parameshwar was the president of the Pradesh Congress committee. He has been a minister, and he has been with the Congress party for a very long time, and he has every right to make a claim to the CM's post. But then, referring back to the deal that had happened between Kumar Swamy and Yadurappa years ago, that was an open deal. Everybody knew that Kumar Swamy had to go after certain months. But this deal between Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar is supposed to be a secret deal, as DK Shivakumar himself has said repeatedly that it involved only a few people and that it is a confidential matter. And he had been given a word. So we don't know what was this deal. Suppose the Congress High Command had made this deal open, or if the deal had been announced in 2023, there would have been no issue at all. Even if the open deal said that DK Shivakumar was to be the next chief minister after Siddaramaiah, that would not have led to any controversy. So by keeping this deal a secret, the Congress has actually allowed itself into the midst of the controversy. So if you look at what Yatindra has been saying, Siddaramaiah's son has been consistently saying that there was no such deal, and his father is going to continue for 5 years as the chief chief minister. So I think the tussle is only between them. Although Parameshwara has thrown in his hat. Of course, there are other factors working now. The Adi Chunchanagiri Swamiji, who represents the Wakaliga community, has openly declared that DK Shivakumar should be made the chief minister. And then the Rajya Wakaliga Sangha has also said that DK Shivakumar should be made the chief minister, and they have threatened that they will teach a lesson to the Congress if he is not made the chief minister. it's very unfortunate that these caste organizations and then the seers or Swamijis are getting involved in such politics. But Parameshwara does not have that kind of backing. So he has every right to make a claim, but I don't think right now Parameshwar is a serious contender.
Right. Okay. So you're saying Parmeshwara is not a serious contender. I'll come to Vijay now for
Yeah.
the concluding rounds. I'll come to each one of you, and if you can wrap up your conclusion in about a minute and a half, I'll come to Vijay. Vijay, so what do you think is going to happen now when DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah meet the Congress High Command together? As what we are hearing, that tomorrow and day after, apparently they are going to be in Delhi. So what could happen? What are the possibilities?
Well, see, very clearly, one thing is, in case Siddaramaiah wants to step down on his own, he will be willing to step down maybe after January 15th, when he breaks the record as the longest serving chief minister after Devaraj years. And that would be something that he will do. And certainly not to be Kichir Kumar, is what is my understanding. There could be another consensus candidate. And in case an OBC has to make way, it could be for a Dalit leader. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge is asked to step in and take charge to send a messaging across as the chief minister, because that is a post that has eluded him several times in the past. And this time around, if the kind of messaging that the Congress can give by having a Dalit chief minister, I'm sure that will be something which would, ensure that it is able to score points on. Now, clearly, DK Shivakumar will still have to do wait and watch, but he's made his point very clear that no demand should be made to remove him from the post of KPCC because president. Because the last time around we had heard Satish Jarkioli and others had also tried to make a pitch that they should be made KPCC president to keep the Lingayat community together. So at least he will safeguard that, continue to be the KPCC president till 2028, decide the B forms which will be given in 2028, and then maybe make a pitch in 2028. This is my reading. But who will replace Siddaramaiah in case it has to be? I don't think so. It could be anyone else apart from Mallikarjun Kharge.
Okay, so Vijay has listed out a number of interesting possibilities, but I want to pick on the possibility of where Mallikarjun Kharge might step in to, quell this power tussle. Could that be a possibility, Ananta? I'll come to you. That supposing if there is no consensus, there is, I mean, and everything has to be protected, guarded. The Karnataka government also has to be protected in the face of. I'm sure BJP is keenly watching on what is happening. So, could Mallikarjun Kharge step in?
An outside chance. Probably it might happen, but by the looks of it, my hunch is that it will be essentially between Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar who will get what and how much is the question now, and when is another important question. Probably the party high command will decide to kind of delay it. There has to be a transition, but when? As Vijay pointed out, probably it's after the budget. They might delay it thus far. If there is a delay, what is it that DK Shivakumar will get in compensation? Will there be a cabinet reshuffle? If there is a cabinet reshuffle, what will be DK Shivakumar ask? These are certain things to be considered. But my point is, irrespective of the power shift, what will happen to the party? The party has to be very conscious of the fact that it's in power in only 3 states and 2 important states in the south, Telangana and Karnataka. It cannot afford to lose its base. Why I emphasize the base parties? If Siddaramaiah is just up, there is a very strong base of Ahinda voters that might shift, that might be disturbed. I'm not saying it will, move out en masse. It may or may not happen, but it is going to be disturbed. Right? Similarly, if DK Shivakumar doesn't get what he wants or doesn't get what he is bargaining for, what will happen to the old Mysore region, the Vakaliga voter base, especially given the fact that the seer himself has come out in the open to demand chief ministership for DK Shivakumar. It's very unfortunate. It's unfortunate that the seers are getting into political arena now. But it was bound to happen since we have seers for every caste now. Every seer of every caste will demand a political power for their caste. So that is the situation that we have gotten into. But in the current scenario, it has to be either a power transition, power shift from Siddaramaiah to DK Shivakumar, or a slight delay with enough for DK Shivakumar to be happy with.
All right. Okay. Professor Apurnananda, what would you really say towards the end as to what we could see in Delhi tomorrow or day after?
My guess is that the issue is not going to be resolved soon. As Anant has made it very clear, it might take some more time for them to decide what to do. And I believe Mallikarjuna Kharge is the key figure in this, who has very good contact with both Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar. And because DK Shivakumar has been a party loyalist, he would accept any decision, taken by the high command, and he would continue as deputy chief minister or in some other position, even if Siddaramaiah continues as the chief minister. So I don't think there will be an immediate solution to this, because it's a very, very hard issue to decide, because Siddaramaiah has got the backward classes support, and DK Shivakumar has the support of the dominant Vakaliga community. So it's not easy to take a decision so quickly. I think it will take time, but DK Shivakumar will abide by whatever the decision the high command will take. This is my reading, because some people are speculating that he has established a link with the BJP and all that. But I think if DK Shivakumar goes for that option, that will be end of his political career in Karnataka.
All right. So we'll have to wait and watch what happens tomorrow and day after, when both the leaders, Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar, are in Delhi. Can Congress High Command really come up with a credible alternative as to just to ensure that there is no destabilization when it comes to the change of guard? So we'll have to wait and watch. Thank you so much, Vijay Grover, Professor Purnananda, Ananta. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you.